We were a last place team. We did really poorly in Spring Split of 2017.
That means they will have to play in the upcoming promotion tournament to fight for their place in the LCS Summer Split.
We still have like a lot to work on and a lot to improve. I'm excited because I think that this roster is going to be even better.
Going to be a 3v2 as they come in real fast. Apollo's low. He gets the flash out off of Glacial Fissure, but then blown back by the cast. Here comes LirA, though. Can they finish off Dardoch? Apollo is still alive!
We have a lot of veterans. Playing with these players, they have a ton of experience. They want to do whatever it takes for us to win.
After practicing with the Guardians, I feel like I finally found my home. I can learn a lot, especially from Lokodoko, the coach, and Hai.
We kind of just want to develop our players and see how far we can get with that.
People won't have that great expectations for like us or me, but I think our entire team will surprise.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the caster desk for our next game, where we welcome two teams with close ties to their NBA backers. First off, we're going to do the lineups. On the red side, representing from the Golden State Warriors, it's the Golden Guardians. In the top lane is Lourlo. In the jungle, Contractz. In the mid lane, high at ad carry is Deftly. Their support, Matt, and their coach, Lokodoko.
God!
We had to get it in there. I had to.
Well, by selecting the blue side, backed by the Houston Rockets, it is Clutch Gaming. Up top is Solo. In the jungle, LirA. Mid, Febiven. Bottom, Apollo. Support, Hakuho. And Coach David Lim on stage with them. Very excited to see these guys. I mean, they have that Envy kind of core roster that they were able to keep over, and then import Febiven there for solo lane and bring one of the North America's own top laners.
Right, I thought that was a really huge thing. I'm super hot on Clutch Gaming. I know Zale power ranked them as #4 in North America right now. I think that's actually a fair spot to put them there in the sort of upper echelon. I know not everyone really believes that there, but I think, as you mentioned, right, the old Envy core of LirA plus their bot lane super good. Febiven, I think, is super incredible. I know not all of us watch a ton of EU LCS, or not all of us have, but he was first all-team EU LCS, super hot mid lane. He was part of that incredibly powerful Fnatic squad back in the day when they went super far, so I think they are really incredible. Also, you talk about more upgrades from Envy of old. Their coaching staff, quite a bit upgraded as well. David Lim, formerly of Liquid. And I think this can go quite far.
Yeah, they also have some good analysts. Nasser, he's very good. TSM Curry now with the squad, I believe. And honestly, people were talking about, when those guys were on Envy, they had pretty much no coaching staff or no support at all. And it was Coach LirA. It was like a meme, right? Yeah. He was just trying to, get everyone on the same page and do reviews and stuff and help everybody out with macro. But now it is a different story.
And of course, they're up against Golden Guardians, a squad that seem to be picking up a roster with the idea being growth. Both these squads, I think, is, we're hoping for pleasant surprises compared to results from before. Hai, of course, a really big deal. He seems like he can make any team look absolutely amazing. Lokodoko has been getting some props. He's been coached the split before as well. So I think there's a lot of upside here to both these squads.
Yeah, even though they've kind of talked about trying to play the long term with with this roster, Hai usually has success with teams at the very beginning, right? Because he brings that very clear focus in game. And oftentimes other teams, when they're still trying to figure out how to operate as a 5-man squad, kind of can get taken advantage of there. But let's jump into it here. Kalista is the only AD carry ban so far, with Rengar also finding his place on the ban list this time around. A bit odd with high priority on the rest of them that are out there.
Might be a Tahm Kench first pick. No, they're going to go for a wave with it. It's actually almost the same sort of draft that we saw at the beginning of the day from Liquid with the Gangplank blind at the very start of it all. I thought with the Braum ban we'd see Tahm Kench come in, but we've seen very little of the champion so far in North America, and I know it's gone at least, I think, once entirely unpicked, so a bit of a surprise, but again, high priority on Gangplank, and clearly Clutch and Liquid have the same idea of what's good.
Yeah, and Clutch banned out the Camille firsthand because they don't want any sort of early kills on the Gangplank and a snowballing Camille out of control to get some split pushing down. So That leaves up a Vladimir here, though, for Golden Guardians. This is one of my favorite champions right now in the meta. Vladimir can start with the Spell Thieves, make so much money early on, and use Spellbook to even bring Ignite for lane phase. He can swap it over later for the very versatile team fighting. Ghost Flash and the lower cooldowns help him out. It just seems like a lot of the weaknesses of the champion have really been covered well with the current meta.
And I do think that Vlad can still remain a flex pick as well. He seems to work fine top and mid lane as well. See what that comes through as. But look at this Ornn being grabbed pretty quickly in the lineup, and they're going to maybe line it up with an Azir as well, so that would push Ornn down to support. But Clutch clearly willing to take that champion away, not give it over to the other side. So we're going to see what Febiven wants to play, but seemingly they're going to grab a mid laner, put that Gangplank top, and then grab the Ornn for support. But still waiting to see what happens. Now they're going to push off of that one. They're going to wait for a little bit longer. Tristana going to show up for Apollo.
Interesting. So Golden Guardians could grab up one of the kind of trio of mid laners I was talking about, and then spend both their bans on the other two. If they wanted to push Febiven down below the Azir, Rise, Malzahar tier, which I think is definitely a strong strategy.
I agree.
Trying to get him below that. And it looks like they actually are going to respect the LeBlanc cover that he did, so they won't be able to get both Rise and Malzahar
off the table.
Off the table. I think they would probably opt for the Rise ban in that case, but we'll have to take a look. Ornn specifically, even from support, I really enjoy the champion, especially in compositions that do have stuff like Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is very slow moving. It's easy for an Ornn to nail him in a team fight, and it's such a giant ultimate that you're going to get a lot of collateral hits as well.
Absolutely. No Braum here to stop the giant ram elemental. I'm not sure what it's really called. I did the spotlight and I've forgotten what it's called, you know, in sort of lore terms. But either way, yeah, no way to block that one. Rise is going to be removed, so Malzahar open if he wants it. Remain to be seen what they want to put for this bot lane, though. If they go for like a Morgana to Black Shield, maybe the knockups and keep that Kog'Maw safe. Happy to see what comes through. Alistar off the table as well, and Golden Guardians need a jungle, need a support.
All right, Taric team fighting would be pretty big. This is a massive team fighting squad here for the Golden Guardians. Kog'Maw, Vlad, Azir, and Taric. Definitely a lot of scaling, definitely a lot of high-powered 5-on-5. Let's see what Clutch Gaming can answer with, because they actually have quite a few options here. I do like taking away the Taric from a Tristana. That, you know, Taric Tristana engagement in bottom lane is
super good.
Definitely very good as far as kill pressure does go. All right, Evelynn makes her way to the North American LCS. This champion right now, I think, is extremely good for solo queue. I haven't seen, the only couple games I've seen it in cometitive play, it hasn't actually had much success, you know, in really snowballing and getting a lot of the AP stacking. But if you get even just a decent amount of AP on her, she can one-shot AD carries. Find it sneaking up on them. Does have the
Kha'Zix.
passive invisibility coming through. All right, we get the old-fashioned duel here. Some damaged junglers early on. Definitely some possibility for snowballing out of control. Both of these two are some of the most highly prized assassin junglers in the entire game right now. Actually, probably the two.
Yeah, I think they're probably the two biggest assassins for sure. And I do like this jungle metagame we're in right now, because it feels like there is a lot of styles available. You've got the tank junglers out there, the Sejuani, the Gragas, Jarvan can go either way, and you've got the Kha'Zix and Evelynn and the high caliber assassins. So super exciting for me to see the different styles coming through. Clutch Gaming, Golden Guardians saying, yep, our junglers are some of our best players. Put them on the damage list. Let them go wild. Set them up to make big plays. And LirA versus Contractz, I think, is two of the best junglers in North America. It's going to be a very fun duel to watch.
Definitely. I mean, Contractz and High have worked together before on the Academy team there for Cloud9. So a lot of people are expecting Contractz to kind of play around High, also just opening up High for roams and creating plays and stuff like that. But him being on Azir versus the Malzahar might not actually manifest that scenario.
Yep.
And we could see LirA actually just trying to take it to him. Probably not early on, honestly, with the Evelynn. Yeah, you actually don't want to take it to him early on, so do the champion choices.
Sure.
Might have to change that one up a little bit.
Well, we'll see what comes through. This is going to be a very fun one. Clutch Gaming versus Golden Guardians. Honestly, it's hard to know exactly what to expect from these squads, but of course they're going to be hopeful and doing their very best to improve and strive and crush some opponents throughout the season. We are ready to go into our third game of the season. And here we go into the game. First start with Golden Guardians wearing red. Clutch Gaming wearing blue as they leave their fountains and Let's see who can get that better start. Once again, a 6 stopwatch game. No one's really surprised here. It'll be a fun game all regardless. Sorry, 7 stopwatches. They're the thing covering Taric's. I got close.
You really do need to get in the habit, if you're playing League of Legends at pretty much any level right now, of checking everybody on the opponent team for stopwatches, because I've seen so many people go, oh, no, we messed up our dive because he had a stopwatch. Well, yeah, it's kind of expected nowadays, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Especially when you have champions like Vladimir. He can reset multiple times, especially with
pool into stopwatch pool again.
You know, he's got his ultimate heal coming in, pool, stopwatch, summoner
Power
spell
Q.
reduction on the summer spells as well. So definitely a lot of frustrating things that can go around up there. It looks like both of them hovering on the top side, but might have LirA getting assisted start with the Evelynn. Looks like it now as he makes his way down bottom for the pull. And even Contractz are on the Kha'Zix as well. Double bottom side starts for these two DPS-oriented junglers.
I want to point out you were right about the Spell Thief start for Lourlo, by the way. Vladimir tends to be pretty strong into melee matchups for that kind of reason. Afraid to blows the mid lane. Febiven versus High, going to be a fun one. A pretty hefty red buff leash for the Clutch Gaming duo as they make that not too difficult there for LirA. And
oh, wait, I want to see if he cues the Raptors. Oh, he's actually going to cue the Raptors.
Yeah, okay.
You can also, if you don't want to cue them and you want to go over just to the blue side to the Wolves, you can just cue by them and damage all of them, and your Talisman will just heal you right back up as you're on the way, because the life steal stays on.
Nice trade right there. They get the stun and several auto attacks off of. Better trade out of the Golden Guardians duo. Apollo and Hakuho, of course, are a fixture from the previous year or so. They played together on Team Envy, and are actually statistically one of the very best laning duos in North America. Even if the team didn't do very well, they had some really impressive stats. Matt, who of course didn't have a lot of stats to his name and definitely a rookie, not a lot to show for them, but we'll see how they can do against what is honestly one of the better laning duos in North America. Yeah,
and honestly, Ornn into melee matchups has had a lot of success. Able to get the Friddle off. Here goes Contractz. He wants the early duels with his Kha'Zix.
Gonna look for the auto attacks, get the slows across. He's putting him right under the turret there. No help really coming in for solo, but that's gonna force LirA to recall away.
And since his top lane is pushing in here with the Vladimir trying to keep GP under, looks like you should be able to get some counter jungling done. So very nice there from Contractz. As we talked about with Kha'Zix against Evelynn. Evelynn wants to get up so her passive will give her the increased ability. She can start stalking people early on. Kha'Zix definitely has a lot of power, especially if catching an Evelynn isolated, and he might find him again. Ward was seen by LirA.
LirA not allowed to be part of this one. Still going to take a lot of damage under 200 HP in Contractz. Yeah, just forcing him away again. He didn't recall from last time, just regen through the passive, but Contractz already taken one camp away, looking for number 2, and that means the only thing he has left up is that Scuttle and maybe the opposing Gromp or something.
Yeah, you're always going to look for the cross-map jungle. That is only if it's permitted by your bottom lane, though. And currently right now, since Apollo and Hakuho, as you said, are doing so well in the lane, though they're pushing up with the Ornn and Tristana, it should allow LirA to recover a bit and go for the enemy Gromp. And steal away that from Contractz.
All right, so Scuttlecrab plus the Gromp, but an early recall still coming through for Contractz. He's on Green Smite and a control ward, so the vision ready to be given to his teammates. Early recall coming through from High as well with Double Dagger, currently holding a farm lead for himself. We'll see how he handles up against this Malzahar push, but Febiven probably should match that soon enough. He's out of mana now.
Meanwhile, Contractz actually did go to check. He did find that his Gromp was stolen, so as expected, the cross map there from Evelynn, and he should be able to know that only thing left up for LirA are his Krugs, because he's eliminated both other camps on the other side, and that should mean that they could have a possibility of creating some plays here on top side. Now he's just clear out of vision, though, and there's nothing else he can do.
So first step, get the ward down, make sure that your teammates can stay safe, and then on, take his jungle out, and he should continue to have a small farm lead overall as a player. Definitely in that. Holding on to his bot lane, actually, they're going to probably have a farm lead overall since they're have more minions to kill right now. So far, so good for this duo.
Yeah, sometimes when going for heavy harass and miss a couple CS, pushing the others in. And right now, Matt and Deftly are CSing and sustaining quite nicely. It's pretty much even, though. I mean,
Yeah. There's a really minor thing I'm a little surprised about is that Apollo went potions and not refillable, considering he's already brought Biscuit, so he's got Sustain to go with anyway, and it's not the most aggressive duo he's against, but maybe he wants to be able to trade his health bar for some CS, but hasn't happened yet so far, so it's a slight like nerf to his overall gold because to rebuy potions later on in the game. Super, super minor, obviously, but just surprise regardless. More damage towards Febiven, who did, yeah, he matched Recall and didn't get nearly as many items, or at least nearly as impressive as items, so just a Sapphire Crystal and a...
Not impressed by Sapphire Crystals, Freak?
No, not at all.
But it's so much mana!
Great! I need that!
I know!
Thanks, buddy!
It was perfect!
Oh, what a setup! And he knocks it down. Kobe with the slam dunk alley-oop. All right, well, Contractz, woo, taking with a second Gromp here. And he's going to continue to have his farm lead over LirA. As you mentioned, yes, the early jungle matchup is Kha'Zix favored. And Contractz playing into that very nicely. But LirA will hope to feel safe in taking these wolves, but shouldn't.
Both of them know the respawn for this, though, because Contractz was the one to take it, and LirA saw him do it. Contractz actually not going in for it, and he's thinking that LirA will come over to the Gromp. I think he wanted LirA to face check him, because then you have an extra mobility, since LirA can only flash away, you can flash and hop.
Yep.
But not going to be the case. LirA sticking on his red, trying to secure that one as soon as possible.
That means LirA was actually completely correct in what Contractz was going to do. Contractz actually, I guess, losing the mind game in this result and ends up losing 15 seconds. Can't blame him for trying, but props to LirA for shying away from that camp now. And as you mentioned, onto the red buff now should feel pretty safe. As a nice little freeze built by Hakuho, waiting for his teammate to get back in the lane. And it looks like actually, finally, no one's really stopping him from building this freeze. So it's just going to be a lane in a bad spot right now for the Golden Guardians duo. Yeah, some damage to Hakuho, but he doesn't care. This is actually a nice spot now for the Clutch Gaming duo. Oh, they're not actually going to freeze extra. They're just going to shove out. Okay. They could deny more farm when they could have done that.
Well, it looks like Deftly is going to be able to get back to the lane in time for it, so won't miss out.
Yeah. No, it's a cannon wave, and cannon waves they're just slow to push, so that's why partially why I'm a little surprised they didn't freeze, because you just can't shove that in time to deny much, but they would rather have openings elsewhere.
Look at this roam, though, from Apollo. It looks like he was making a move towards mid. Now he's invading to get the vision down for his jungler and trying to assist LirA here.
Oh, nice.
Getting back some control. Clears out the control ward himself. Leashes for his jungler. What a great AD carry.
Wow, yeah, I would have frozen that wave to deny like 7 CS. He gets a blue buff steal. Apollo's better than League of Legends. Let it be known. Hakuho gets the blue for that one. A nice play out of Clutch. And the big NV trio, the duo lane of the bot lane plus LirA set up that blue steal, and Febiven slots right in and grabs it.
All right. Meanwhile, top side farming going pretty well for both of these two. Lourlo is keeping Solo pushed under the turret there with the Vladimir. Constant pressure, though.
Looking for the play on the high. He does have ulti available. Flashes for it. And here's LirA looking for the rest of that. The charm is going to land. Look at the burst damage. No way out. The 1-2 duo comes in. First blood for Clutch Gaming.
Evelynn plus Malzahar is so dirty to watch. You just, as soon as you get in range of a flash ultimate and the charm goes up over your head, you know you're in for about 4 or 5 seconds worth of CC, because there's no way you can dodge the charm proccing ability from Evelynn, since Febiven's going to have him suppressed. He also does something here where he pre-casts the Voidlings. That's a signal he's coming to flash for you. So I say, if Hai had seen that, which I don't think he did since he had already turned the corner, but if you see something like that, you can predict the flash from the enemy and preemptively flash it. That would be the only way you're getting out of it. But again, I think he was in Fog of War, so didn't even probably see that.
Yeah, and it can oftentimes feel really silly when you flash at nothing and you're like, he wasn't in range. Yeah, so unlucky there, but that's the way life goes. First blood comes through, and now Contractz back in his own jungle, still feeling pretty safe. But no longer with that farm lead over LirA, who's gotten a bit more time to do what he wants now. 1100 gold lead feels nice, and that's actually more gold than the first blood was worth, so farm leads across. Some of that's going to be just Solo having Kleptomancy, of course, and being Gangplank, so not a lot to look at just yet. Small farm lead for Lourlo feels pretty good. I think Solo definitely is, on paper, the weak point of Clutch. I think Lourlo is not a player who would generally punish that right now, but also just having the faith in Solo to give him a Gangplank blind, even as a relatively inexperienced top laner. You know, it's going to feel good for him, and so far he's holding up in the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen plenty of Gangplanks just go straight even with Vladimir's. This Vladimir has double control wards, and he also had a Kha'Zix invading the jungle on his side. So there were more things for Solo to have to worry about than just a Vladimir that he's laying in against.
Yep.
Kha'Zix was spending an inordinate amount of time over on that top side.
Right. This is one of those games where stats will lie. You're like, wow, Solo, minus 20 CSD at 10. It's like, yeah, have you seen the control wars and jungle matchup? No, the stats didn't say that. Okay, well, that's part of why he's behind. So, yeah, you can definitely give him a bit of a pass. You know, Solo close one on your screen right there. There's Apollo taking a drink of water. Have not yet heard the reason for the pause, but clearly something important enough to delay the game. We'll get that pretty shortly here. And again, still a pretty close game right here in this one. A 700 gold lead for the team wearing the red jerseys. See what comes through is, yeah, early recalls have come in. Another thing we've actually noticed a lot in League of Legends pro play right now, as we look at all the stopwatches, obviously with 7 of them, is we're seeing Inspiration Secondary be super, super, super common. Stopwatch seemingly leading the way for that, since that's sort of one of the high-profile pickups. But Biscuit's pretty common for laning phase, and some people going free boots to just save 350 gold in their builds.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the free boots as soon as I saw it. I actually didn't put enough emphasis on the stopwatch part of Inspiration. So I was going Inspiration from the very beginning, but it took me a bit to catch up on the stopwatch plays early on.
Yeah.
It's just, it definitely is so much playmaking, and those big plays in pro play, you know, one stopwatch play can mean you win the early game. Like, it completely changes, you know, a lot of the dives and a lot of the power points shift around.
And it's really worth pointing out that you don't need to build it into Stoneplate second item or GA second item for it to be good. You can just use the active, sell it for 120 gold, and be like, all right, cool. I didn't die, and then I got some money back for it. Also, 5x free boots out of the Clutch Gaming lineup, so they really believed in that. They want to go fast.
Love to see that.
Plus 10 move speed for the boots in general, and they just hit their power spike because we're 10 minutes in. Was told, by the way, the reason for the pause. Solo reported some kind of comms issue.
His mic was cutting out, is what they said.
Oh, okay. So now he's talking, and they're all trying to listen to him, and they're hoping they can hear him properly. So if that goes well, then we'll be back into this one. But that's going to be our look in for this. We did mention also a couple games ago in the TSM Liquid game, seeing Spell Thieves on junglers. We do have Spell Thieves for LirA as his first, you could argue, completed item after he finished his Runic Echoes. Spell Thieves plus the free boots coming in, so he's going to start stacking up some extra gold out of that.
Yeah, very, very common. As you said, Evelynn and Nidalee kind of paving the way there for AP junglers. And it looks like fairly close. We do have pretty standard as well wards coming out for both jungler and their upgrades. And it's mostly going to be about who is going to be able to get that jump, right? I mean, Contractz is level 6 as well on Kha'Zix. One of my favorite tricks with Kha'Zix, which people still seemingly have not caught up on, is you walk through one of the brush by a lane to get your passive invisibility. And then before it ends, you activate your ultimate. It just extends it for a new fresh duration. And you can get all the way through a lane almost. So you're invisible until you auto-attack them. And that's how you should start it off, by the way. Your auto-attack animation is a little bit longer. And it's a little bit longer, and it is... it does land the slow, so auto queue started open, and you're pretty much free as far as anybody you've gotten up next to.
Yeah, you definitely get no notification as a mid laner. Once they're under your turret, that will reveal them, but until then, you have literally no idea that Kha'Zix is in front of you, and that can be really scary. We are replacing Solo's headset, by the way. That seems to have just happened. You saw him put the new one on your screen a second ago, so as soon as their comms all work and they all feel fine, assuming it's not just Solo talking too quietly, and I doubt that's the case, they'll be ready to go. So the pause should end soon, unless something else goes weird. Looks like we're seeing thumbs up and nods out of the squad. So, and smiles out of Apollo, which is just his natural state, of course.
Nicest guy in the LCS.
Nicest guy in the North American LCS. Maybe of all the LCSs. There's 2 of them. Apollo doing well for himself there.
Official voting. Done last year.
We get that poll.
As for this game, though, I mean, high. So we saw already the high where, you know, he got flashed on. The combo of Evelynn, Malzahar, which is very common CC stacking there. My question is, you know, is he going to get one of the early QSSs? Because, you know, last game with the Malzahar, we saw 4 QSSs coming out decently early. As far as the Azir matchup, he is versus, you know, Malzahar and then an AP jungler. So he also would get a decent amount of value out of the magic resist, and he already is holding on to a no magic mantle. Just kind of a matter of time, you know, will he upgrade that earlier rather than later into a QSS so that doesn't happen again? If he does, you know, get further down the line and you end up with a QSS, it's a little bit tricky with Evelynn because you have to kind of wait until she procs the charm.
Yeah.
And then you want to use it. But a lot of people get antsy when they have it over their head already.
Yeah.
And just want to get out of there.
Yeah, it can be difficult to time those things right, but that's kind of the thing going on. And as people get situated, we should be hopefully getting back to this one pretty soon. And yeah, I'm kind of then curious to see, okay, 5 seconds till the game unpauses. We are going to be ready to go on this one. I want to see how this game will then unfold in the future. We're getting pretty close to the Trinity Force power spike of this Gangplank in the top lane. About 1,000 gold to go for him. The Vladimir now up to Frostfang, going to continue stacking for himself. And he might actually rush Frost Queens. The Blast Wand would build into that, so I might see him kind of rush that item up there. And we'll continue to see item poaching this one. And Solo just keeps his farm and tries to stay safe against Lourlo.
A little bit of cashing in there. You just want to farm safely. We've seen this a lot with Gangplanks over the years. It is easy to go defensive mode if you do have to worry about, like we're talking, jungle pressure, lots of control wards on your side, and just kind of farm safely with him. Meanwhile here, Hakuho fighting for some vision, taking down some control wards himself, and look at that bottom quadrant here. Blue quadrant for the Golden Guardians is just lit up with wards. LirA can walk right past any of the ones that actually do get down anyways, having his passive post level 6 there on Evelynn. And now that kind of the tables do turn, because he's the one who gets to stop Contractz and see when he starts camps and try and harass him.
Yeah, we'll see what comes through in this one then. As LirA can feel pretty good about himself, and X has the extra burst damage out of the Spell Thief's triggering to pretty much always be on 3 stacks. Contractz looking around, can't find any wards to kill and can't find any champions to do that to either. I have to back away for now. Quicksilver Sash rushed here by High. He'd gone for the early Stinger and then said, yeah, I'm getting hit by Malzahar. Let's go and grab that item for myself. Rageblade getting closer and closer for Deftly. Stun is going to land this time, not rocketed away by Apollo. He felt out of range and he was right. As Evelynn's now backfilling this bot lane, they actually might look for a gank themselves as Hakuho finally kills away this ward.
There's another one, and he places a ward for a teleport.
And they're going to find a lot of damage here. The ulti coming out for Taric will buy some time. He won't die, but was stunned up. A nice knockback there by Apollo. Show them how it's done, but a flash out keeps Matt in a safe place.
Gangplank ultimate used also. Hakuho also on his invade placed a deep ward there for a possible teleport, but they don't use the teleport. Solo remains top farming and just tries to lend his ultimate to try and help them get the kill.
Yeah. He's getting a bit low, though. He's out of potions, and Lourlo has empowered Q. He's got the ulti as well. This actually, I don't think he quite had the damage to dive him, but so we're getting dangerously low. No Magic Mantle helping keep him afloat, of course. Still not on Trinity Force power spike. Doesn't want to have to recall if he can help it, but has already done so. And yeah, Hex Drinker has to delay again his offensive items.
Meanwhile, Deftly does have a completed Rageblade here on the Kog'Maw. So there definitely is a lot of threat. You have to be careful on the bottom side. Yes, they just burned all the summoners, but if the Golden Guardians spent some of their extra resources and tried to collapse or try to play around that bottom lane, you really have to worry about the counter damage. Right now, though, they can just move up, trying to take down this Drake, and it looks like they should be able to secure it fairly easily.
No problems there. LirA's not going to find his way into that one.
Okay.
But see what we find here. LirA going to find us some damage on the High. Does not want to get shuffled back into the turret. You saw him back away a little early. Yes, he can ult to disengage it. It's not that hard to be in front of a turret as an Evelynn, but doesn't want to have to burn it. So just kites away. Blue buff going to be handed over pretty cleanly to the Golden Guardians mid. And we still have this fairly close early game. Clutch Gaming have a kill, but Guardians do have that Cloud Drake to themselves, shortening that gap somewhat.
As the control wards we talked about should see LirA, and Lourlo immediately disengages. He's got upgraded Frostfang, I think you mentioned, and he was able to get those ghosts out.
Yeah, so right there you saw him just dodge the Q, get away from the charm. Every other tool in Evelynn's kit is exactly melee, so there's no CC to be had, and out they go. Contractz safe enough to grab his red buff, and we continue on the somewhat low kill early to mid game as that gets picked up. Level 8 both junglers. Solo now actually has some time to finally knock down a few of these wards as LirA revealed them to him. Both these topside control wards are gone.
Yeah, the Golden Guardians have been buying a lot of control wards and keeping up the vision, and it's protected them decently well up until now, but they have also lost a lot of control wards. Clutch Gaming have done a pretty good job of getting in there and clearing them out very frequently. Now, the Rift Herald can do a little bit of damage to Evelynn. She's not, one of the best at taking it, but once she gets back into her passive, she can heal right back up to half anyway. And you can kind of just cruise around the map So as long as they don't see him, then it should be just fine. And I just pick that one up.
Not a problem. All right, so neutral objectives traded over the course of the game then with the Guardians Drake, and this now Rift Herald picked up for LirA. I don't know if many of these turrets have a lot of pressure on them. It might be hard to actually get a turret kill out of the Rift Herald, but it will at least do some damage. Blue buff handed over. Febiven, not a problem to grab that. Easy leashing to be said. And all these lanes pretty close aside from top side, actually. It's a lot being gained. Lourlo now up solid 20 and change, plus stacking Frost Queens. That's kind of the one big lead so far in this game outside of that kill from earlier.
Contractz looks like he's eyeing Febiven here. They've already taken down the Malzahar shield. Still has flash, but a little bit of deep vision for the Golden Guardians now as they move into the red quadrant.
So which one's next up in this one then? Few minutes to go, well, several actually I should say, until the Drake comes back up, and 4.5 till Baron, so it would only be lane pressure looking for outer turrets, and I think that might be on towards LirA because he has that Rift Herald. Wait for slapping safely in the mid lane. No ulti get quite on a high, but he jumps forward with his teammate around him. Gets away. The nice bolt to do some more damage. Will it do enough? Malefic Vision's not quite because the heal comes through. The flash and chase in, but this could be the shot. And Hakuho gets himself a kill, plus the knockup. That could be 2 picked up. Yes! 3-0 for Clutch Gaming. A nice fight in the mid lane.
And the Ornn roam. All right, the Ornn teleport with his spell book to top it all off, by the way. Able to get in there, Hakuho. As we talked about, the long range and wide width of that ultimate is able to lend a hand even after the long teleport channel timer there. Contractz and High thought they were going to be able to turn that one back around, but Evelynn's ultimate doubles as an escape as well as a large damage chunk. And you can see here, even missing the Q, which is a lot of Evelynn's damage, he does get off a little stab there with his ultimate as he exits, and Febiven is able to flash forward. So is LirA. Able to corner High. There was nowhere else left for him to dodge.
Yeah.
They cut off all the escape avenues and again secured the kill there onto the mid lane. They're just throwing so many CC abilities here mid lane that High is unable to get out of them, even with Contractz there.
Yeah, flash, heal, quicksilver, sash, and he's Azir, and he ulted. It wasn't enough for him. Now High again running away. Febiven, I think, has ulti up in a second. Gets the silence, gets the damage. There's the ulti coming across. A lot of damage coming through. LirA wants to join, but it doesn't feel safe, but refreshes the visions. I think he'll live, but yeah, down under 100 HP. A lot of pain there for Febiven.
Febiven spending this Malzahar, and now he's got plenty of room to work with.
Fight! Doesn't even need it. Neither had it. Lanes the Q. Good job, Contractz. Gets himself a couple extra pieces of gold, but he's down a level here, and is Clutch Gaming getting farther and farther ahead now in this game.
Well, they're getting closer and closer to bot lane. Looks like that has been the call already. Matt and Deftly getting a little antsy. You can tell they feel like something's coming, but they have not exited the area.
Look for the stun, gonna find themselves that. Right back over the wall goes the Malzahar. Doesn't want to be part of this yet. There's the summon Rift Herald. It should be, well, that's gonna be a guaranteed turret kill, and it will lose some of that, the health on the Herald. Down to about 2 HP there, but that is the second turret now of the game, as mid was already felled a while ago.
Yeah, she's going to lose her life for that one, but
Sorry, Shelly.
well worth it.
Yeah.
Another outer down, and they didn't have to risk anything, you know, diving and teleports coming in with everybody moving around. Could have lost a life there.
True, yeah, that was a chance to kill. Febiven actually rushing max CDR. He got the cooldown boots early on, plus already up to Frost Queen's flame. So 40 CDR in items, has ultis up super frequently. And with the spell book like the way it is, he's going to have flash and go super frequently, and he's constantly going to be able to look for these picks, and he will be a menace so far in this game. LirA has been pretty much in step with him, looking for the 1-2 punch, following up after the ulti. Getting pretty close in some of it. Guardians still looking for their way into this game, and I think it would have to come through Lourlo in this top side. He's got a lot of gold, and he's doing pretty well in this laning phase. Also a lot of farm on their Kog'Maw as well, so those are the 2 big breadwinners, but there's kind of a lot of ground to make up with how well Clutch has played this early mid-game off their kills.
Yeah, I mean, the tower advantage is really taking a toll, too, because at first, Clutch Gaming was only targeting mid lane, and they were only keeping High back and keeping pressure on him with the Evelynn and Malzahar ultimate combination. But now, after mid turrets down, bottom turrets down, and the Drake has been taken up, it makes it very difficult for Golden Guardians to mount plays, because You can see all the extra vision for Clutch Gaming, as well as the extra room for Evelynn to roam around the map without these turrets. Means that pretty much everybody has to worry about those CC combos.
Absolutely the case there. So, keep your eyes peeled and watch out for the crowd control. Right now, Lourlo's still just getting the hard farm, and he's doing okay. And the CS difference is staying at plus or minus 20, so it's not like Solo's getting farther and farther behind. He's just now going equally. He's got enough MR to not be pushed around. 30 CDR on him, thanks to his Malda Mortis being done. And yeah, it's enough defense to not have to worry about Vlad too much. I still farming. But he's starting to get farther behind Febiven with the death and the turrets and the farm being a bit different. Now the lane swap, Clutch Gaming putting their duo, the Demolitionist and Tristana. Looking to knock down this top lane outer. Turret does look a bit worse for the wear. Yeah, down about 1/3 HP. This could be 3-0 in turrets before too long. We'll see if the defense comes in time. You can see he's really cheating up. He wants to knock this down. Definitely shows up and says, get away from my structures.
Yeah, I think they actually want him to stay as close as possible because Contractz and Matt are here. They can try and combo for a stun, but it's Tristana.
Yeah.
And she's fairly self-sufficient as far as keeping herself safe with her ultimate and rocket jump.
Yeah, one of the big benefits of Tristana is you can let the Ornn roam around and look for the plays there with the ulti and whatnot and just kind of leave Apollo alone to stay safe. So far he is. Hasn't been under any threat. Occasionally got down in CS against Deftly, but he's tied that back up now already.
Looks like we're going to have 4 members roaming. Solo could join with a teleport, but probably just send over the Gangplank ultimate, and the turret's going to be dead.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage for this one.
Oh, teleport comes in from Vlad.
All right, here comes the big play. Will this be the fight? Forcing the flash low. LirA now a bit isolated. Contractz looking for the play, but can't reach and pops the ult. But here comes Hakuho to make his life difficult. Knock up there, and it's going to be Lourlo. Forced to Vlad, fooled by a little bit of time. He's going to stay safe with his teammate now on the backside. Re-engage comes across. No kills just yet. Now onto the blue buff, but it actually resets and heals right back up, so that's not even going to die for a while. No kills either side. Nice escapes by Lourlo. Has the QSS to get away from it. Doing just fine.
Yeah, they still have to worry here a little bit about LirA stalking high. Oh, he's going to go for the burst.
A little bit of damage there. I figured the W would give him enough warning that he's not going to let that cook all the way, and Contractz just jumps out.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's recalling, you can usually say that they'll probably have slow enough reaction where you can W then Q as long as you're in Q range to get the slow. Here we go, though, with a Baron start after that top lane play. This is going to be Clutch Gaming taking it in the dark, and Golden Guardians probably going to be far too slow.
Yeah, they walk up, but they're certainly not in range. Well played right there. Good shot calling Clutch Gaming, getting that Baron, getting a 6,000 gold lead and absolute map control as a result.
All right, Baron buff going to empower the siege for the second line of turrets, and Golden Guardians still yet to get any turret gold for themselves. And just going to be more space opened up for LirA to roam around, you know, the Gangplank ultimate to come through. Hakuho is actually swapped off of teleport, so they don't have the teleport from his support, but he does have exhaust, and that just makes Kha'Zix's life terrible.
Yeah, oh yeah, can't assassinate. Gonna make life difficult, absolutely. I want to call attention to the fact that top lane turret didn't go down. The vision was so poor from Golden Guardians that they had no idea if someone's waiting behind that wall to kill them, and even though they did have time, they didn't know it. Couldn't go for the turret damage there. Bit of damage on towards Hakuho. Support Ornn, not the tankiest champion, obviously. Has to jump away, but really no foul there and no deaths. Now onto the bot side. Still getting a bit of free time down here, thanks to the Baron buff. He's gonna feel pretty good. He can shoot some barrels, blow up some minions, but now looking for the play onto the mid side. High has his teammates coming around behind him, but they have not yet found inroads in this game.
Oh, pings are going in. It looks like they want to collapse here, and High is the one most extended.
For the ulti, a big ult coming in for the Taric, keeps them invulnerable, will do so no damage yet, but the charm could mean the death still comes across, and Matt knocked up into the air, will go down. A nice kill picked up, other than getting the credit. 3-0-1 on him.
Well, they get a pick while they have Baron buff. That is like the dream scenario, because now they get to freely push on these turrets, go power up these side minions here, and take away pretty much everything on the map. Blue and red both spawning in time, so Clutch Gaming going to be able to wipe the map clean here of objectives pretty much.
Turret's starting to take some really severe damage. Contractz only do so much to try to push them away. It doesn't look very scary, honestly. It's a 0-1-0 Kha'Zix. Not exactly the biggest threat. Still backs off, though. Gonna wait for a little bit more time as Lourlo backfills the lane. Red buff stolen away. Apollo gets that one, and Deftly still putting his farm to the best work he can, but just pretty much behind and under this point. Rageblade Hurricane, the only items he's got, and it just feels like it wouldn't be enough to win a team fight. 9,000 gold difference will do that to you. Attempted charm, not going to find much though, and High is totally safe. Points out Evelynn to the left-hand side. Still waiting to see the next big play though. A minute left on Baron means top lane siege going to be pretty easy. Team showing up. Matt waiting in the wings though, says if you threaten this, I might try to stun you. In fact, looks for it. Just find Hakuho though, and now that's a cooldown missing. Oof. Pretty good damage on the Contractz down there. And bot lane falls, solo split push works well. Well, the game's slipping away slowly but surely. Golden Guardians down almost 10,000. This is a significant lead or deficit based on your point of view right here, but Clutch Gaming.
It's a pretty steep slope.
Yeah,
they're slipping away on.
Yeah, this is like a 90-10 game. You're going to play odds with it right now, and now this mountain are going to be grabbed up pretty easily. Means the next attempt at Baron going to be even easier for Clutch.
Yeah, it would have to look like a very, very well-timed Taric ultimate plus Azir ultimate to get kind of a multi-kill here for Golden Guardians if they wanted to turn this around. You know, those things are definitely possible, but it would be very difficult to actually set up and be able to get both of those things and the timing done well.
Just keep in mind, there's no reliable hard engage for Golden Guardians. It would almost have to be a blunder for Clutch to overextend into it, since you've got a Taric Flash E, which just not that reliable, not that many targets. It's not like he's got the Ornn or even the Flash Malzahar is almost more reliable than anything else in the roster. So difficulties abound for Golden Guardians on the back foot, kind of stuck in their base now, bleeding more and more objectives. Only one tier 2 turret left. Looks like that's going to be in the top lane, and Solo on the Gangplank walking up toward that. To his credit, again, has stayed safe in lane. He's ulted into every fight there's been. He's actually got perfect kill participation, just pressing R when the engages come across and helping make sure that the kills do indeed happen. Doing his job pretty well, as he was not the target of attack in almost any of these cases.
Follow with the red buff, just...
Yeah, chunking these turrets, and Lourlo the same. Look at that damage up, but their turret's gone.
All right, well, the defenses continue to crumble here. Febiven just threatening the ultimate here on Malzahar as well, while Solo slowly moves in on the top side. That should be another turret, and they're just falling over very quickly.
Another turret's going to fall like dominoes. They go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. Clutch Gaming. Aside from that, one pesky Cloud Drake that Contractz took a while ago with the duo. An almost perfect game. Either as a win or a loss on one of these sides, and that is a very good or very bad way to go based on which team you're rooting for here. And here we go, more pressure on that turret, but the chance for rotation is coming in, so Apollo will back off for now. Clutch Gaming have earned a lot of gold with those recent turret kills. Looks like they're going to reinvest that income one more time. Baron spawning in 140 means it's a good time to reset, refill your inventory, board for that objective, and Baron number 2 might just close the game.
Yeah, almost certainly here. Minute and a half left. They can easily get back and set up. All the wards have been pushed deep into Golden Guardians jungles, you know, on the other side to try and help with the split pushing. That did open up an inhibitor, but they could easily reallocate those, go back over to the Baron side and behind it. Because, I mean, base checking into Gangplank, Evelynn, Malzahar, like Ornn ultimate through the jungle is insane because you guarantee it fills up the entire corridor of all these jungle corridors, and you get 2 passes. So
yep, same kind of condition as Rumble basically, where it's like, yep, it's gonna fill everything. You can't dodge it. You're gonna take the full effect of the spell unless you can flash a wall. And yeah, it is painful here. And here we go. Clutch Gaming, 45 seconds now on the Baron, and they're going to start playing really hard for this vision control. Some defensive control wards are up right now, so Golden Guardians can sweep some of this vision away.
And that, we should go over the plan for Golden Guardians, because even though it's very difficult, the plan is definitely to stall out for this huge potential for team fighting later that they have. I mean, they have all of these great scaling team fighters on their squad. Aside from Kha'Zix, all of them kind of excel in that area. And they're just trying to stall it out to even up the gold differential here and the extra items. A lot of QSS, a lot of money has been also spent in QSSs. So not only is there this big gold difference, but also because of Malzahar, they had to buy a bunch of gold, so they have a little bit less damage on their side.
Yeah, delaying the Blade of the Rune King, that definitely be picking up off that. Without our Wit's End, either one, they build out the same pieces. Yeah, it's, you know, a power spike you would like to have, because you might need that to help kill the Gangplank or the Evelynn or something right now. High keeping his passive charge, I do believe, if a push comes through. Nice attempt to smite, but Apollo, I think, actually got the last hit. So Contractz actually slightly mistiming that. Gets a slow, jumps away. He's afraid of what could happen here as LirA puts a ward down, and the team says, you know, we feel pretty good about this. Let's knock some wards down. And they're going to trade control. Another ward comes in, and now Clutch Gaming owns that rush. LirA at half, but will regen pretty soon with the passage, about 2/3, 3/4, depending on his AP. Still has the stopwatch available. And yeah, now with Baron alive, it's just as soon as Clutch Gaming feels safe to start Baron, they can kill it in about 8 seconds. Once they do, Golden Guardians has to be there in time to try to steal, or just give it away and not get picked off. And the question is, do Clutch go for a brush bait like this where they look for kills, or are they hitting Baron? And there's no obvious way to know. They're going to have to guess. Contractz reveals with W, says, okay, they're not hitting it yet, but what about now? I'm no longer in range. Are they hitting it this time?
I mean, every few seconds that Golden Guardians buy is
They are.
a little bit more into their pockets. They're trying, but here goes Clutch Gaming, burning down Baron. Contractz is in position.
Yeah, he's got Flash, and it would be a smite fight, but it's not a good way to close out a game is go for 50-50. So Clutch's going to back off and say, okay, we couldn't keep them out of the jungle. They either ran out of wards, control, or sightstone, or otherwise, and said, all right, we didn't get the vision well enough. Let's try again with round 2 and hope that this can be a more secured Baron take.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to reset here. I mean, they could, honestly, with an exposed inhibitor bottom, return to that pressure point and try and utilize that to open up the window, because all of them sitting around Baron, Golden Guardians actually did a decent job just spamming the Kha'Zix missiles and trying to walk over 4 wards to really delay that Baron.
You have taken over. Febiven powered up yet again, level 17. He's got plenty of items for himself. Only 1 slot left to go. He will be missing Void Staff, but should be okay.
I kind of like this. They are returning to the pressure point of the exposed inhibitor with solo split pushing. They also have LirA trailing him. It is difficult to kind of get Vladimir with that combo, though. So unless they find someone else a little bit overextended, might just be like Summoner's Blown.
Yeah, he's got an on-demand slow. He gets movement speed out of the Tribute quest being completed a while ago, and he's Vladimir. Good luck with that one. Difficulties abound there. But once again, ward control being had, and it does earn Clutch a bit of extra money, 30 gold per ward to both the Revealer and Killer. So they're growing their gold income that way, investing in vision and whatnot.
All right, shoving all 3 lanes here. On the top side, Febiven trying to get it as close as possible to the turret, but doesn't obviously want to overextend. They don't have the deeper vision. There is a Kha'Zix on the enemy team who could combine with someone else.
The Azir turret is gone, so Hyde put that up for a bit of control, thinking they needed mid lane to help fight for Baron, but now that one is gone. One more resource off the table that Hyde had spent. Nice little barrel chain, gets some damage, pops the Guardian shield out, and now once again the attempt. And this time around, look how much control they have. No one is even nearby. The Ornn ult gonna come across, finds a knock-up, and there is no chance for Contractz to join in. Second Baron comes through to Clutch.
All right, Baron timer should be used on pushing for that inhibitor. Solo making a beeline there, heading right over on Gangplank. He doesn't want to let them clear out that wave. Oh, it was starting a recall. Looks like Vlad might get there first and clear out the first one. All right, so it's going to have to be the next wave that they work on. LirA's actually almost made a pit stop there, but
yeah,
they're going to have to catch the next one.
I think it is the right choice. While you've got the Baron, use it. Sometimes it can bite you if you lose the fight and they get a Drake off of you, even though you had the map control before, but with the lead they have, it seems unlikely to lose. Contractz looking for the flank play, though. Maybe he comes around. It's a 3v1. Looking for this now as LirA's going to find Contractz. Jumps away, doesn't want to be part of that fight. The rest of the team wasn't there to reinforce, even though they were actually outnumbered. Golden Guardians just unable to get in for that fight, it looks like. And now mid lane being attacked. Febiven looking for the damage. Only hits the turret once with a Voidling, and that's about it so far. Gangplank topside solo is splitting. Hyde on half HP, actually had to QSS out the Charm, I think it was. And Contractz also ultiless and flashless.
Yeah, LirA poking out a lot of people here on this Evelynn. Just shadowing Apollo.
Good dodge. He's going to get away from that one, and the first inhibitor is now down. Top turret gone as well, Solo able to safely split push through this one. 34 and change minutes into the game. The second Baron buff on, still gonna last 2 more minutes. That could be enough to knock down all 3 inhibitors, depending on how aggressive they want to play it. Their gold lead 14,000, but no, they're gonna actually recall on this, at least for Febiven. He can switch to TP if he wants to rejoin right away. Still deciding if he wants to, of course. With the home guard, what does he will? He's gonna TP to look for a pick, maybe. Home guard gives him move speed.
Yeah, I think they should they're honestly just pushing with this wave. They want this cannon-empowered wave to be the end of the last inhibitor turrets. Tristana's up top side though, and actually going for the inhibitor, chasing down Lourlo.
Oh, easily. He's huge right now. He's even got himself a Hex Drinker. He knows he can win that duel, and so open pasture on the top side, but they're not going in. They're still respecting High's chances to defend this. Hakuho just kind of walks away a little bit. Tristana's long range and has rapid fire cannon for extra, but still hesitant to pull the trigger. Finally goes for a couple more attacks here, but isolating around, gets the attack speed from summoning some soldiers. Looking for the charm is LirA. Here comes the attempted ulti. They're gonna find the knock-up onto only Taric, but Matt is not the target they want. LirA could be hit, gets slowed, but after Lock gets popped, he's fine. Once again, looking for this inhibitor. The damage from 3 Spooky goes to buy a bit of space, and High again have to back off the slow. Apollo feeling kind of safe. Again, there's no engage we had just yet. In the front line they go, and Lourlo picks off LirA, who did not pop his Zonias in time. The Pocket Watch not consumed, so 5v4 now. Some room for Golden Guardians to find themselves in the fight. Inhibitor taking some damage, but a 5v4 could be a battle that could be won, maybe, as the bot lane turret falls to the Gangplank split push as more and more of the base falls away. There's no more inroads to be had, so even though 5v4, they can't get into the fight, but it does buy them some more space.
Yeah, I think you got to ult super early on Evelynn if you get into a scenario where you're about to get stunned like that.
Yeah.
Because if any stun lands, she's so squishy. Just gets popped really instantly. But in the end, it's kind of a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
There are 2 inhibitors down, giant lead for Clutch Gaming. Yeah, it's, you know, they have to waste away a little bit more of their Baron, but it's pretty much going to be another hard push up mid, like the last one.
And they get the Ocean Drake anyway, so they didn't even lose all that much on the map regardless. It will delay the Elder Dragon spawn by a while, but again, not the worst thing in the world. Azir picked up for Apollo. He has max 100% crit chance, a lot of attack damage as well. No armor pen, but there's only really one tank to fight. He doesn't really need it so much. And can feel good about that one, honestly. I do love Essence Reaver on cooldown-based marksmen like Kog'Maw and Tristana, so respect that. 4 items in for Deftly, though. He's also kind of running out his build. Hexdrinker not the most threatening of items, but the Mercurial Scimitar and Wit's End giving him nice magic resist to survive Febiven and LirA, and honestly, he's got most of that Kog'Maw core done, but I do think Tristana's going to outdamage him.
Very promising start for this Clutch Gaming lineup. You know, people definitely had pretty high hopes as far as keeping together, you know, an existing core, adding some upgrades, solo laners, coaching staff as well. But this game seemed like a fairly clear game plan from the beginning. They were able to combo their crowd control early on to, you know, get their pressure point in mid lane. Pretty easily transitioned out bottom as well. And from then on, they've been pretty clean about ending it out, step by step, checking off the objectives.
Yep. And they're pushing farther and farther in. 15,000 gold up. Ooh, LirA and Contractz in a pretty close fight, and LirA was so close to death, but now here comes the re-engage, the flash to ult to land the kill, the assist to Hakuho. A nice duo kill right there, and now it's a 5v4, this time in Clutch Gaming's favor, I should say. They didn't have their falls once again, and they can start to knock down the base.
Golden Guardians will have one less turret here to guard as it goes down to the Tristana explosion. It's going to have to be now or never. They have almost no structures left, and it's just a Hail Mary all in. 4 versus 5.
They'd love to wait till Contractz came back. They will not have that opportunity, though, as the turret's going to fall rapidly. The knock-up is in. Nice engage comes across. Matt hoping to stay alive to get the Crystallized Starlight back on, but will it even really matter? LirA gonna get sniped. A nice shot comes through, and High gets 1, so a little bit grabbed, but still 2 deaths already for the squad, and now a 4 versus 3 to keep pushing in. They've got the minions, and they've got a lot more gold, a lot more power, plus the reinforcements coming in. The flash in, Lourlo wants to make the big play, but he doesn't have the damage up just yet. Apollo is safe. The respawn comes in now, a 4v4, a silence across 3. They got the kill on Lourlo already, and Contractz forced to jump right back out with the invisibility. So now the fight continues in the favor of Clutch Gaming. They will knock down the Nexus and start 1-0 in the season.
Congratulations to Clutch Gaming. Definitely a one-sided victory there for the longest time. You know, not even a turret taken for the Golden Guardians. They did have a lot of scaling, but not able to get anywhere close to it.
No, they only gave up 2 deaths total and a single Drake this game. They stymied almost anything that Golden Guardians wanted to do. We'll give commiseration to Deftly, who at least remained deathless so far this game, and as far as damage was concerned, actually looked okay, but honestly, a ton of damage coming out of Solo's Gangplank here, a lot of Apollo's Tristana as well, and just clearly, at least today, a better team, Clutch Gaming. The question was asked, what could Envy do with real solo lanes? And with Solo coming in and Febiven looking quite good as well. They actually played around that mid laner. The first 4 or so kills was 100% KP for LirA and Febiven getting the kills. Solo showed up with the global, which was nice. He just ulted in and got the assist as well.
Showed up.
As best he can, right? I mean, there's only so much you're going to do as Gangplank from that, but, you know, he was at least part of that and helped, you know, add some damage.
That's how you want to play when you're Gangplank, right? That's the best feeling. When
Sit
all you
in
have
lane.
to do shoot your guns off in the air and
Yeah.
start getting assists all around the map, 100% kill participation, as you said.
For the early game, yeah.
That's exactly how you want it to go.
Yep, and he did the most damage in the team, so hey, well played. So Clutch Gaming, yeah, off to a 1-0 start. And this is, to be fair, a 1-0 that many expected. Golden Guardians, I think not many are expecting to do much very early on in the game. That's sort of a growth-oriented team. It looks like there's not a lot of star power, at least on paper. Maybe they will surprise later on, but Clutch Gaming picking up what's probably an expected win, but doing it convincingly, which is not always the case.
Yeah, definitely, you know, congratulations to them. Golden Guardians, as you said, they wanted to build more. People maybe were hoping for, if something, they were going to show something, it was going to be through, like, superior coordination or, like, some crazy calls or, like, some early game, you know, Contractz high, trying to snowball. But this one was definitely not that, and maybe we'll see something different later in the weekend.
Yeah, Contractz played his lane, or his early jungle well, but yeah, couldn't turn it into a win. So now for more on that win, let's send it down to Olivie and the Clutch Gaming bot laner. I got her name wrong.
Thank you guys so much. I am here with Apollo, AD carry for Clutch Gaming. Congratulations on the win. You guys had, it looked like you guys were in complete control of that game. Did today's game turn out the way you thought it would?
I didn't think it was going to go that smoothly, because I think during practice, it was like a lot more rough, a lot of throws. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the game that we wanted to play out, and that's how we did it.
Wonderful. Well, you played with LirA and Hakuho last year on Envy, and you're playing with them again on Clutch Gaming. What encouraged you guys to stay together?
I think the fact that we started to play well, like obviously spring was pretty bad, and then we started to improve ourselves during summer, and I think they're just really good players, and I really wanted to play with them again, and I'm glad like this was good. You know, the team ended up being good.
And how are... Let the cheer come in. How are Solo...
I think it's for someone else.
There's people behind you, but you're on stage right now. People should be applauding you. That's for you. I want to ask, how are Solo and Febiven fitting in with you guys?
It's good. I think the overall atmosphere is a lot different. There's like, well, first of all, they speak better English, and I think the biggest thing is that the communication aspect is like that's the main thing that we're focusing on. Obviously, we have to improve like individual skill and macro skill, but it really comes down to communication. I think that's what we've really done a good job like the past few weeks of working on.
Will you play against Echo Fox tomorrow? Have any thoughts going into that match?
I think we're just going to try and do the same thing we did today.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for this interview, and we're going to throw it over to our friends at the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Evelynn. Clutch Gaming with their first victory of the 2018 season. Looking at Apollo on the stage there, I think it's really interesting to track that squad's improvement, having been the Envy squad from spring, right? That 10th place spring into the 6th place summer, and now they're trying to see what they can do with a couple replaced solo laners. We'll get to that broader discussion in a bit. The victory came very easily for them here today with a team composition that, if executed well in the early game, can be off to the races.
Yeah, and we made a comment, this is definitely going to be shorter than Game 2 when we saw the team compositions, much more explosive, right? The only two tanks in the game were both in the support position. You had an Evelynn and Kha'Zix trying to make a lot of plays. The game was a lot more subdued than that, but I think it's just because Clutch jumped out to an early lead and Golden Guardians didn't have any answer.
Right, I mean, this is a game where if both teams are playing super aggressive the entire time, you end up with 20 kills to 5 or something, but once they started losing, it felt like Golden Guardians kind of pulled back and just bled out for the rest of the game.
Right, that said, looking at these picks in particular, I think the interesting matchups I want to point to, of course, the top lane, the GP, and that Vladimir we've been hearing so much about, who can be a lane bully, should be winning that lane, and then therefore affecting the rest of the map through the mid game, as well as the jungle matchup. Kha'Zix into Evelynn. We saw a lot of interaction between Contractz and LirA.
Yeah, I mean, it just speaks to how that matchup's supposed to play. Kha'Zix wants to find Evelynn in the jungle while she's on her camps, kill her when she gets that isolation. It's very easy to blow her up, and there were a couple kind of touch-and-go moments where LirA was getting chunked out, but he always managed to get safe to a lane, get out of there, and keep alive, so that way when he hits 6 and gets his power spike, he can start making plays.
Right, survives that early game, so let's push forward to that level 6, those power spikes that they start hitting for Envy, linking up with Febiven in the mid lane, getting things done.
Clean! Yeah, this was so well played by LirA right here, specifically dodging the Azir ultimate with the Evelynn ultimate. And then another nice bait here, he puts the charm on Contractz, which gets him to stopwatch, but they're actually flashing forward to kill high, and therefore when the stopwatch ends, they can pick up Contractz as well.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man.
Super well played by those guys, and they could be the best duo jungle mid if things go their way. They're in the conversation, actually. LirA was first team in spring for NALCS. Febiven was first team in summer in EU. Those two were legit.
Yeah, I think you could argue, you know, maybe towards summer a little bit, LirA had a bit of a step back because apparently he took on a coaching role. So I think we're hoping that we get to see him unlocked a little bit more here with the coaching staff of Clutch Gaming. And then those two guys focus on just stomping mid jungles, because that was so well executed. On top of the fact, Hakuho was joining up on that play as well on the tail end. So it seems like there's a lot of synergy here early on for Clutch Gaming.
I mean, let's keep rolling with this conversation then as we award Febiven with Player of the Game in the mid lane. So, hey, a debut here in North America for the European mid laner goes quite well, but let's look at the team around him as well. We've already hit that 3/5 of Envy. Now let's replace the soul laners. You take a look at LirA, at Apollo, and at Hakuho. Where would you say these guys rank out of 10 as a trio?
Ooh, I got to think about that a lot.
Yeah,
because last year, I mean, they finished 6th with weak soul laners. Top 4, most likely. Right?
Great. So now, do these two soul laners take them from 6 to 4?
I think it's close. I had them as 5th, and I think depending on how C9 incorporates Licorice was the big question mark for a lot of people. I think they could very easily make that jump because they've been trading up their mid laner over time. They started with Ninja, then they get Niski, now they've got Febiven, and he looks great overall. And then Solo seems like a side grade from Seraph in terms of skill, but he plays a very different style. It's less volatile.
And Solo was in a really bad matchup, didn't die, used his ult elsewhere, didn't lose his turret, so he kind of played well. And Dash, we're going to get to see this team 17 more times. Step 1 was really good. Right? Step 1 was them fulfilling their potential. If they do that, they're actually a playoff team for sure if they continue to play like this with the potential pedigree of at least 4/5 of the roster.
I mean, you mentioned Solo. I think it's important to give him a nod here. He was 0-5 in his substitution games with Echo Fox, so that was the entirety of his LCS experience on the stage. Picks up his first win here. That'll do wonders in terms of building the confidence, because looking at him next to the pedigree of Febiven, those two soul laners have very different histories leading up to this moment.
Yeah, most of these guys have 3+ years of LCS or LCK play. Here, you know, finally Solo getting his 6th start overall in the LCS, so it's a very different level of experience.
And I don't want to leave Golden Guardians untouched here. So just real briefly, it's already been talked about the fact that this is a roster and an organization that's investing in growth, long-term growth. So I don't want to draw too many conclusions, but on the outset, my big question is, who's the carry? When I look at this team on paper, I look at most teams on paper and I can identify what I think would be their go-to strategy in terms of winning. I can't do that with Golden Guardians.
Listen, that game when you have a Vladimir up top lane against a Gangplank, that's a top lane carry game opportunity-wise. He didn't do that.
All right, well, there you have it. After the break, Echo Fox and FlyQuest square off, rather, on Summoner's Rift, so don't go anywhere.
First game, I've always lost, but I have a better feeling about this team.
Oh, perfect. That's what I like. That's what I like.
Oh, I'm ready.
Looking for the play on the high. He does have ulti available. Flashes for it. And here's LirA looking for the rest of that. The charm is going to land. Look at the burst damage. No way out. The flash and chase in, but this could be the shot. And Hakuho gets himself a kill. Plus the knockup. That could be 2 picked up. Yes.
Multi Kha'Zix. Coming.
Dump it down.
We're fighting mid. I'm fine.
He did.
Now the fight continues in the favor of Clutch Gaming. They will knock down the Nexus and start 1-0 in the season.